in the middle of page Lamed Ches, line starts Oifen Tzir HaYis Galus. It would be helpful for us to understand these final principles over here. Hamshocha Ne'alemes, Hamshocha HaSeichel. I told you the story that we had this guest in our house who was never born retarded. And then through training and through practice, whatever it is, he developed logic skills to the point where he was a PhD candidate in mathematics. But these were stripped of life logic skills. And he was part of our family for a long time. He went with us to my in-laws. Then one time I observed, he was sitting by the table, and he was dozing off, he was falling asleep. So I said to him, Alman, you're tired. He says, no, not tired. I just fell asleep. There was nothing going on. There was nothing going on. It was such a telling message. In a human being, there's always something going on. When he observes the world, he's observing the world with his intelligence. He's constantly making sense of it. Making sense of it in terms of what can you learn from it? What does it mean? What is the message of this? He looks up at the sky and he sees the various colors and the various formulations. It all talks to him. Friedrich Rebbe expresses himself in a Sikha, and he says, when you look up at the world, you see a living world. Olam Chai. Then come as I said, the smart idiots. Very smart, because they're able to figure out all kinds of different things, but they're idiots. They don't use their life skills. What is rain? Rain is some kind of a precipitation, and the water has settled on air particles, and it was too heavy to fall, so it fell down. What's a cloud? Whatever it is. What's color? There is nothing tangible about it. Nothing real about it. It's all human construction. It is true in the world, it's true in the human being. The human being reacts to colors in a very meaningful manner because they are reflective of certain aspects of his soul. This is the pshat that the koyach hamaskil, even the koyach hamaskil, is in a state of hamshocha, meaning it's in an active state. And there is a manner in which he will react to various questions that he has never encountered before. There is already a manner in which he approaches, because he's a living intellect. Okay, again, in the middle of the page, and the line begins with the word Oifen Tzir HaYizgalus.
And what was Hamshach and Ne'alamis? You said that at the beginning you said that we should understand these things. What's the Ne'alamis?
Ne'alamis. Ne'alamis means a subtle and concealed Hamshach. In other words, this Koyach HaMaskil, you can have this Hamshach when a person is involved in a seichel. Like Shnei Zaman, if he's involved in a seichel, he won't fall asleep in it. He's active. This Hamshach and Ne'alamis is not active in the sense that he is consciously aware of what he is thinking. But there is a Hamshach. It's a living thing. This brings us back, as we always come back, to the principle that Rambam says, to a human being, to a Yid. The world, the reality of the world is that there is a first being. In other words, the way his seichel perceives the reality, that's the reality. And if his seichel cannot perceive the reality, then it's not real. All right, let's continue. Again, the line begins, Oifen HaTzir HaYizgalus. V'zois hi hasiba. This also is the cause, the reason, Masha HaChocham Godel, that Chocham Godel, a great Chocham, a Chocham with great power of Chochma, Yischakim Yoser Behoyinyan. He will delve more deeply in any given inyan. Deeply both means deeply and broader and in every direction, in any sense. Shezehu mitzativ koyach hamaskil sheboy. And that is because of the tiv, of the quality of the koyach hamaskil that he has. Shenim shach betoiv yoiser. When the koyach hamaskil, which we said, this is not the etzem hanefesh, this is a hamshocha from the nefesh, from the koyach hahiyuli hasichli. It is by him. It is in a better state of hamshoch. Betoiv yoiser shehu mitzuyer be'eifon ha'er v'hisgalus yoiser. What does it mean? It's nimshach betoiv yoiser. It means that it has a clearer definition of the oyer haseichel, and it's in a greater state of his galus, a greater state of imperative perspective. Ve'al kein yischakim yeser, and thus he will yischakim yeser. He will be able to broaden out his seichel, and he'll find all kinds of different ways and pathways.
Is there any chance to just explain very briefly, or go over very briefly, what we mean by koyach hayuli ha'atzmi? We probably did it last time.
No, I did not do this. Koyach hayuli ha'atzmi, he didn't really discuss it over here, and we did discuss it a couple of days ago. The principle of koyach hayuli ha'atzmi is essentially, from our perspective, we say koyach ha'seichel, koyach ha'maskil. It is simply that this is what a human being is.
Mm-hmm. He's a secret.
Huh?
He's a secret.
He's a secret. By definition, he's a secret.
Mm. And that's pretty much equal by everybody? I mean, that, in other words,
that essence is equal by everybody. I want to, if you want to kind of point our finger at it, Every human being wants to stand up erect on 2 feet. Doesn't want to crawl on 4. An infant is trying to get out. Why? Because by definition he's a sikhli. What does this mean? Let's examine this. If he should be crawling on all 4s, then he's being supported by the ground. That means that the ground is what provides reality to him. There's earth under me. No, he says, no, what's real to me is there's reality on the seichel level, on the ruchnistic level. The earth is on the bottom. But essentially, what is my interest? What is my experience of life, of existence? It's in mid-air. Which is mitzad kol hayuli ho'atzmi. Okay. It bothers me. It almost to the point of how can you? But their construction of the union that the person stands up on 2 feet. It's because he can fight over enemies better. What? Okay. And yet still we're talking about the koyach hamaskil. The koyach hamaskil is already a hamshoch of seichel. It is not the way it is in the koyach hayuli, and that's why the koyach hamaskil by a great chochem is in a better form, in better hamshocha, and that's where he is able to be mischakim more. But nevertheless, we have to understand gam boy hu bebchinas hagbola. By him too, it has an element of Hagbala. Because that's already a Hamshach. This is already what's called an Oyer HaSeich.
But even Ha'or before this.
What?
I don't know, did you? I don't think...
Tzui be'efon ha'oyer va'yizgavos yeser. By a greater chochem, the koyach hamaskil is more clearly defined. I explained it, more clearly defined in how the oil comes and how it expresses itself. We just now finished saying that to the human being, to sikhli, what makes the world real is the fact that he perceives it in his seichel. This is what makes it real. When his seichel is a greater state of gilui, tziyur, then he has a clear view of this reality. And therefore he is able to be mischakim more. This is the oifen ha'ir v'hagili. Oir, as we explained, oir is the one. Oir means light, and what is light versus the mitzias, the tangible mitzias? Light gives a perspective. Like we said many times, the general light in the world gives us a perspective of a unbounded reality. Therefore, if he has a certain sense of unbounded reality, he can delve into it and try to understand it limitlessly. Because it is all within this reality that light illuminates for him. If his reality is only that which he can touch, then the minute he goes beyond in his discussion, beyond that which he can reach up and touch, he's at a loss. I remember one time during the Labor Day parade, I was trying to come home. So there were certain arteries that were open. And the officer is supposed to let you in if you can show him that you live in the area. So this stupid officer says, show me where, which street are you going to turn to? From Empire Boulevard you can't see Carroll Street. No, I was told that I should be able to be pointed to, and then I let you. All right. So we say, by him too, by the greatest Chacham, it has a quality. There's an element of Hakbala. Why? Because by definition, this is already a state of Hamshocha. This is not the essential thing. This is already how it is nimshach and drawn from the essence to the stand of development. Hare, thus, from this discussion, it becomes clear the hashpoas haseichel, that the hashpoa of seichel. At the state where the seichel comes in a form of seichel gol, a revealed and a definitive seichel that actually explains things and points to things. V'gam, and then also ha'hamshoch on their lemes, even the hamshoch on their lemes, the quiet and the subtle hamshoch of seichel, shehu mokir haseichel, which is the source of the seichel. I don't know if I did justice to this inyan from Kecha masculine as a mokir haseichel. we said the other day, we repeated it several times over the weeks, that what is Chochmah, what is Madriga of Chochmah? Chochmah is that there is such a thing as a truth. You don't know what the truth is, but there is such a thing as a truth exists. That becomes the base, the foundation from being able to understand, oh, this is true. This is the Hamshocha Ne'alemes, which gives Seichel a sense of reality. You look up and you see the big sky and says, oh, well, I have to touch it. Is it real? Okay? That means that his seichel is lacking this Hamshocha Ne'alemes. As a sense, the reality as seichel at the seichel level. That's attention. To a bar seichel, I said before, you look up at the sky, you look at all these different formulations and different colors. That speaks to you. You don't need how does this form? How does this form? That's a much lower level. That's only a keli for the Ayin. But this itself, this is the Mebish's creation. That speaks to you. A Bar Seichel lives in that reality. And it's not an imaginary, it is real. Like we said many times, an interesting thing the Gemara says. A child tastes the taste of wheat, of grain food, and his seichel opens up. He has a sense of reality, and he can refer to Tati and Mari. Taste? You say, what's taste? Forget about taste. Today's world, they've taken taste out of food. Eat grass like the sheep. It's the healthiest.
Wheatgrass.
What?
Wheatgrass.
Wheatgrass, yeah. So even the Mokkah, this is why the Mokkah has said, I want you to understand that whatever we understand, to whatever degree, if we really sense a seichel in this, we sense that there is a background reality for it. Mm-hmm. And this is what makes it real.
That's the Mokkah.
That's the Mokkah. That's what they call Hamask.
Still don't understand what exactly it means, Oifen ha'or. I mean, Oifen, in other words, he could have a greater sense of this reality or a lesser sense of this reality. Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Why is it or not?
This is oil.
This the reality.
The whole seichel process from the koyach hamaskim, even the koyach hiyoni ho'atzmi of the seichel is oil. This is the whole thing I said. You come into a chasana. The cat is interested in the food. Hey, that's real. What are you looking at?
The or is not is a non-tangible reality.
The oil is not tangible. That's the real thing. That's a reflection of the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the life force behind this whole thing. Even the Hamshach Ne'elemes, which is the source of the Seichel, that too has a definitive, a limited hashpah, a limited manifestation from the nefesh. Umishum zeh, and because of this, yesh hagbola, there is a limit bihispashtus, behai hispashtus. In the realm of hispashtus, hispashtus means how it expresses itself, and to what extent how it can reach out, how far it can reach out. To what extent it can continue to be mispashed and relate to a further out reality. Now here's the point of this whole discussion. Behold, kol zehu b'koyach haseichel. This all is true in the koyach haseichel, k'moi shebo b'bchinas hamshocha. In the koyach haseichel, the way, at the state where the seichel is b'bchinas hamshocha, in a state of hamshocha, means it is in a state of an active state. Avol koyach haseichel ha'hiyuli ho'atzmi. But the koyach haseichel ha'hiyuli. Hiyuli means the way the seichel is before any kind of design. We can say the potential but this is, the potential is also misunderstood in terms of ha'atzmi. Ha'atzmi means the essential koyach haseichel. How is koyach haseichel essential? Seichel is something which is functionally developed. Ha'kol of a nefesh, which is really included in the nefesh itself. Vehu helam ha'atzmi de koyach ha'chochma. This is the Helam Ha'atzmi, the Koyach HaChochma. This is the let me try and explain. Yeah, I'm looking at the clock. I think I have a couple of minutes. We'll see. Just for starts. Anything that can be sensed and recognized, even in a state of helim, is an atzmi. In other words, something that is just on a functional level is not recognizable in a state of hell. Either it expresses itself or it doesn't express itself. If it is something which can be sensed in the state of Helam, then you're talking about that there is something essential. This is the Helam Ha'atzmi of Koyach HaChochma, the way it is in the Etzem HaNefesh. And we have to ultimately try to focus in and understand what's Chochmah have to do with the Etzem HaNefesh. Etzem HaNefesh has the Etzem HaNefesh itself. What?
Didn't we have this in the last line? You said that a person is called the Nefesh Sasichos. Because it's what makes the Etzem, so to speak, meaningful. In other words, it's not just presence, but it's a meaningful reality, something meaningful about it.
Right. So right now, just put it in a single sentence. There's something that is there, as something that is worth knowing. That's Chochmah. Chochmah denotes that which is worth knowing. It picks and focuses in on the pure reality. This is worth knowing. And this is it for this morning. Baruch Hashem, stayed within the limit. Have a good day, and we shall meet in Yisrim tonight again, and then for the class Sunday morning. Kol Tov.
And if we bring in Shabbos, the Beis Yitzchak.